Good evening, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Fatma here, sir is not here. Vanita ma'am, are you ready?
Oh, good evening, ma'am. Good evening, sir.
Vanita ma'am, you're there.
Let's see. Why not? I hope everybody
Can you
is
please
ready to
let me
receive
know
me.
that is stream is starting? Vanita ma'am, are you Is it started?
Oh, good evening.
Yes, it has.
Good evening, sir.
Okay. Let's see. Why not? I hope everybody
Can you
is
please
ready
let me know that is stream is starting? Vanita ma'am, is it started?
Oh, good evening.
Yes, it has. It has. Let's see. Why not? I hope everybody is ready. I've sent. I hope. Good evening, friends. Nice to meet you again this evening. I hope you all are getting the PPTs and the notes that I have been
Yeah, ma'am. Good
sending.
evening, ma'am.
Yeah, great. Thank you. And I hope we can start. Fatma ma'am, shall we start?
Yeah, ma'am.
Because Fatma ma'am, I was just great. So, with the little glitches here and there, we keep on doing things right. And this is what we all are, I think, famous for. All the Indians, we have the best part is we are resilient. And yet again, there are some people who need counseling. So the young counselors, the counselors in the making, the counselors who are going to be the caretakers in the society. It's our fourth day together. And I hope from Monday, sir will be back in his seat. And I hope I have done justice to what the responsibilities sir had bestowed upon me. Okay, no problem, yeah. So Fatma ma'am writes, if I can using Hindi. I am a North Indian. मुझे तो हिंदी बहुत ही अच्छी आती है. And if anybody wants to, friends, if you're not getting anything, just if you're getting stuck,
Team, please mute your calls.
जैन साहब आपका ये गड़बड़ हुआ. Your mic is on.
Vanita ma'am, can you please mute others?
Yes, let me try. Yeah. I think now everything seems to be fine, but yes. So friends, if at all in last 4 days you got stuck somewhere, you want me to revise something, even when we are not meeting, I am part of EmoCare only.
Ma'am, just a second, ma'am. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, absolutely. That is why I was asking for your
Team,
permission.
please come on videos. Because see, only ma'am is on video and you all are not there. It's not look good now. So please, if possible, come on video. A very gentle and humble request. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We missed you, Mutulakshmi ma'am, yesterday.
Yeah, ma'am. I too missed you. Sorry, ma'am.
No, that's
Actually,
absolutely fine.
today we had a puja at home, so
I could see.
and all.
Yes. These days, everybody is busy with the puja. These are major puja days, na?
Yeah,
But
ma'am.
I'm sure that you're
class.
getting
Thank you.
you will be getting the notes and you will be getting the recording. So no
Yeah,
problem.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Got everything.
So this
Thank
is
you
what
so
I
much.
wanted to actually start on with. Namaskar, Balasubramanian sir. The only thing if at all, since last 4 days that we've been talking about the goals of counseling and how the process of counseling is, you'll be getting the videos, you'll be getting the material yet again, if at all you feel that there is something, I'm sure sir will be able to sort it out. But I am a part of EmoCare, and if at all there is anything, you can talk to Fatma, you can talk to sir, and I'll come back anytime, or you can get my number from Fatma ma'am, and we can always help and share the materials with you, help you out. Today I've sent not only the PPT, but as somebody had said, I think it was Rao sir, he had said that send me a copy of case study taking. So I've just sent a simple template, the simplest possible that I could, because I think it will suffice, right? So, okay, getting back to where we were. we've been talking about what are the basics of counseling, going to communication. Then yesterday we talked about how assessments and other things can be done. And today I'll be talking about, in a nutshell, about everything, and specifically goal setting. Why? Because again, I'll just repeat, once you get a referral, as yesterday I was saying, the referral could be self-referred, referred by the doctor friend of yours, referred by NG or somebody, and could be referred by senior in the family if it is for children or minors, right? So once we get the referral, the case study done, everything is examined, we have seen the medical reports, we have reached to a conclusion that counseling will help the person in question. The next comes how to do the goal setting. So we'll primarily work on goal settings, and then we'll continue to how to think about which intervention method will suit the client, right? And as usual, I always say, you can always raise your hand, you can tell me when to stop, and you can, if at all there is any question, I'll be there to sort it out for you in best of my capacity. And I hope I said just to justify what I'm doing. So when we talk about when client is already settled, when the rapport is already formed, when things are a little better, to start before the process, we need to create goals. And goals again can be divided into two goals, friends. And let me go back again. Whatever I'm talking is can be used in any kind of counseling. It could be group counseling, individual counseling, family counseling, and all fields of counseling like school, marital, children in general. So you can always, but the goals have to be set, and the goals can be again for any of the system. There can be two types of goals. One goal is specific to the problem that the presenting problem that the client has approached you with. Suppose the person says, I feel very anxious all the time. Or the parent says, my child is not able to study, is very anxious because the exams are approaching, and or my child is not studying because she or he is always on the phone. So giving a little bit of feeling that there's addiction. These could be the specific goal for your specific line. But besides these specific goals, which of course you will have to deal with deeply, and if at all you feel that you are not able to, or you're not well equipped to manage, if you do not think that you'll be able to do justice, I always again keep on repeating, and I'm repeating it again, please hand over the case to somebody more mature who will actually do justice. Somebody, because sometimes there is a possibility, I'm talking only of two things, addiction or anxiety, they can be dealt with counseling. Little bit of changes here and there. But if the intensity of any of the two things, I'm taking these as an example, you'll have to refer to a proper psychiatrist or hospital. You may be working with them later on also, but yet again, we should be very, very careful. Even in school, we always say we are here to help. We are not here to diagnose. And if I feel that the child is showing certain symptoms, I always call the parent and tell them, we are sorry, we will not be able to help you there, and take the child to a specialist. But when we are talking about counseling, which means not going deeper into the personality or the psychotic issues or neurotic issues, there are certain strategies that we need to work on improving overall situation for your client. I'm again repeating the word client. Why? Because suppose the client is the parent and says, I want you to do something for my child. And I've already told you it could be a part of indirect counseling. Or you'll have to tell the client to bring the you'll have to tell the client to bring a child and make the child also the client, which will again change the situation. The therapy part will be changed. Now it will be part of dyadic, that is 2 people or group or family, depending on the client's needs. Once we have assessed the needs, we have made the assessment, now it's time to create goals. So 2 goals I have said, specific to the problem, specific, but these general goals that I've talked about, it is part of your PPT that you'll be receiving. The general goals are: first, check out with the client, check the client's unique talents, strengths, weaknesses, impulses, and tell them that they need to work on all these things, so that we'll be talking about, let's say, again, going back to the example, we'll be talking about anxiety, but then the perspectives need to change. I need to know a little more about you, and so that I can completely take care of your situation and personality. That is really important. How can that be done? You can encourage the person to write a note to you more or less twice a week. I tell them, especially, write a letter to me. And especially, why I say especially, when the child comes with a parent, they don't want to talk in presence of their parent. Even if they are 18 years, I say, okay, next meeting, I've given you this responsibility. You're going to write a letter to me. It could be a paragraph. It could be a 8-page letter. And I'll not read it in presence of your parent. I'll do that. Second thing I always tell them, if at all the client is coming alone, buy a thin notebook where you'll do some homeworks. That reminds me, I'd given you a homework to do a case study. I wonder how many of you have done. I'll take the note at the end of the class. So take a small thin notebook register where you can write what you want to talk to your counselor next time when you go. What are the queries which went unattended, or suddenly you remembered that you should be doing it? You should have talked about it. Third part could be the physical changes that they have started feeling. I'll tell you, when clients come to a counselor and you are taking the case study, we are not only talking about the physical illnesses, general physical conditions also, which includes, friends, appetite, thirst, that is hunger, thirst, gut feeling, the situation of gut or stomach, which includes acidity, which includes bloating, because we all know anxiety and other things can be responsible for all these things, right? Parasympathetic nervous system and the CNS, it is in imbalance. And if you understand, anxious people, they don't take deep breaths. They take breath from chest area. Diaphragmatic breathing nahi hota hai. Diaphragmatic breathing means कि पेट पे नहीं जाती है. So they feel little out of breath or very lazy, or they don't feel energetic at all. The symptoms have to again match to the personality, match to what they are telling you. So it's really important that we need to understand that there are systems and symptoms that are at fault. I'll tell you, this child comes to me, I am not able to sleep and my eyes are burning. Very simple correlation between burning of the eyes and not sleeping, right? Similarly, when my exams are approaching, my heart beats very fast, my pulse rate is very high, I'm not able to breathe or talk very fluently. Similarly, another symptom, my hand trembles when I write. My handwriting becomes, depending on the intensity again. So we need to understand all these symptoms. Yet again, when you start with the common goals, you will have to tackle these physical symptoms. My favorite line to my client is, look, It started from your thinking or overthinking or whatever you were processing here. It has reached your heart and then it has gone as bad as, and you have noticed when you had seen your physical or symptoms of the body, symptomatic you have become. Now I will start from the body, heal your heart, and then think about this. Few things simultaneously. And little homework is very important, friends, to give. Why? Because we need to build a sense of hope and optimism in their perspective. They should start feeling, मैं ठीक जगह पहुंच गया हूं, पहुंच गई हूं. I have reached the right place. I'll be comfortable. I'll be happy. And my counselor will look after me from now on. Then, again, when it comes to relationships, we need to tell them that it is their perspective, it is their perception. We need to question their belief system. We need to. So all this is, we are, again, if you see, we'll be dealing with specific problems, but this is strengthening their basic personality also. Then if you tell your client to go for a walk at least 15 to 20 minutes, at least twice a week, twice a day, depending again on intensity, then automatically their pains, their bloating, their acidity will be taken good care of. Then I always say, I wish everybody has a glass of water. If you people have glass of water, I'll teach you, or you can fetch in between. I'll teach you a water drinking technique also. This is myself, devised thing, which I would definitely like to, right? And sometimes working on their patience levels, working on their acceptance level. I always say, I increase on, it's not given in your PPT. So if you want to write, I work on their PAT. That's the acronym that I have started. Patience, acceptance, and tolerance. PAT. If you can teach, their personality automatically becomes better. If you know the IQ is good because the plant is grown up, if you know their EQ is not very good, if you can work on their SQ, the whole personality, the whole perspective changes. These are the common goals that we should work. And let me tell you, the specific goals automatically are being taken care of, and eventually they start feeling, now I'm able to, because you are working on their coping up mechanisms, coping up strategies, and that will really, really help them. Then, of course, monitoring of nutrition, monitoring of drinking tea, coffee, if at all the person is already having bloating, burping, acidity, we actually have to check. And if you are not very well equipped and you are planning a center for yourself, or you're working with in a center, let us have a dietitian who's not if coming regularly, but is on call, or she's a part of your referral list. Then comes people who need counseling because they're already suffering from some strong illnesses, be it diabetes, BP, or maybe cancer also. If the person is cancer survivor, or another person who has lost the job, layoffs are very common these days. They are suffering from not generalized anxiety, but they are facing panic attacks because the responsibilities are too much, or it, as we say, it is reactive depression, depending again on the symptoms, right? So once we know, we need to see that their lifestyle, their routine. I actually believe I wanted to put few slides. I could not. I believe, and I have really worked on, Senthil sir, good evening. So, so I really believe and I really work on routine management. Trust me, friends, routine management really helps. And nowadays, when people doing OMAD, that is eating one meal a day and what all and what not, you can understand a routine really makes a difference. Routine definitely includes going for walk or doing some kind of yoga, pranayama, or whatever. We'll say deep breathing exercises, whatever you want to call, whatever jargon you want to. Because if you are creating nice posters for your center or whatever, you can always use your own innovative way of putting things, right? Nisha, you've raised hand. Yes.
Yes,
How can
ma'am.
Ji, bachi.
Actually,
Sorry.
I have a question, ma'am.
Yeah.
I came across a concept recently. There's something called restarting of brain. Is it true? I came across it online. It is like if
Come
you're
again. Come again. I missed that term.
restarting of brain. So is it something like when you're overstressed and your over brain is overused, or there's something you're exhausted a lot, like then is
Burnt
that
out.
something like restart of brain takes place?
I'll tell you, that's what I'm saying. I am giving you, because counseling is that way very interesting. It's not psychotherapy where you have to stick to few things. Counseling gives you a wider range. Or we'll say counseling is now changing into coaching, right? So that is why I'm myself saying that you can always pick up catchy words. You can pick up the, I use the word lingo, the language, the youngsters say, the language which sounds very catchy, the captions that sound very catchy, something which is based on clip art, cartoons, depending upon what you want to have. So only thing, when you read what it actually means, you'll say, oh, this I have already studied under a different subheading, right? So it
Like
is,
brain wiring, ma'am.
yes,
Rewiring,
yes,
wiring,
yes,
rewiring,
rewiring,
and
rewiring. We would
fog.
always, yes, these are all the new words which are actually, honestly speaking, even because Oxford Dictionary, they keep on revising, right? They keep on sending a list of words every year that we have updated the dictionary. So according to me, friends, you just need to understand what it actually means. What it actually means. It could be simply the old wine in new bottle. The terminology is maybe just making it a little more attractive, or it is my concept. I want to tell you all. So, it's that kind of thing. So you can always think again, Nisha, go through what they say and you will understand. We have already studied in psychology under a different subheading. So it's absolutely fine, and you'll see how things happen. Coming back to the common goals, they are very, very important, because
Ma'am,
if
sorry to
you
interrupt you,
if
ma'am.
you plan, sorry, I missed.
I'm very sorry. I'm Senthil here, ma'am.
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, Nisha ma'am was actually talking about a particular concept, no, ma'am, which she has
Yes.
actually come across.
Yes.
Is this
That is
something
why I
to do
said
with the
I could not give any comment, because I would also like to read, and then I would not like to take
understood?
that. Yeah.
It is typically a cognitive kind of thing, ma'am. So it is only the heads which we will have to really focus on, like behavior, cognitive, and physical, biological, something like that. The main attributes, if you can just remember and we can just work on it, probably the other things should be really easy and convenient to understand. Go ahead.
Right, absolutely. Thank you for supporting me. So we need to understand, because if you have, again, I'll just say, let's divide ourselves into two parts. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be mean, but yet again, people who have little psychology background, people who have, even if not psychology background, but out of interest have read few books, and understand what are the basic concepts of psychology. So they are able to put, and they sometimes feel very they feel uh, what I'll say, cheated. Believe me, that other people, right, from coaching, from other fields, they are encroaching and they are coming out with newer words using the same concept. So you have to understand, and that is why the first day I told you that government is trying to put things in a proper format, proper shape, but yet again it will take little time. And when we change the concept to a regular, common, localized language, let me tell you that the government can also not stop you. That is another reason that people have started using all these words and all these terminologies. Well accepted, at least the bottom line again is my client should feel happy, comfortable, better, and then that again depends how much is my expertise, how honest I am with myself. Integrity and ethical issues I'll touch upon a little more once I finish this. We need to understand. I keep on insisting, if you feel things are getting out of your hand, take a co-partner or take a co-worker with you who's little more experienced. There's nothing wrong. You can actually, or if you don't want your client to know, you can always come back to your seniors. Like you can come back to sir at EmoCare. You can contact him. As I've told you in the beginning of the class, you can always be once in my class. Always you can be in touch with me, and I'll definitely try to help you. Why not? Then again, if at all you feel things are more at the biological or physiological level, you need to understand, you need to take help. We can work as a co-partner, or we can always say, it is not, I am not required there. Or I'll be required at a later stage, which I am, of course, going to talk about. That once the counseling process starts, let me tell you again, I'm saying work on both goals, specific goals and common goals. Once you start working on common goals, your specific goals will automatically be taken care of. You can use CBT, you can use whatever you have learned. Again, I'll say the whole idea is let my client feel comfortable better, and my client feels I am trustworthy. It really helps. That is why the goals should have, the normal goals, of course, will be there, the so-called common goals, and specific to client, you will need to list out. Interestingly, I tell you, you will have to again check the priority of your client. Suppose the client says, I am very upset because my heart keeps on pumping too much and I can actually hear my heart here. Do you actually believe? And I am having noises and sounds, tinnitus, what all they are talking about these days. I am having problems. It is reflecting in these manners. So you can actually see and tell the client to do that exercise. If you have a whiteboard, nothing like it, but if you have a sheet board where you can write and then you can erase, or you can do it in your notebook, or you can give a specific paper to client and say, list out your symptoms. What is it that you are not feeling comfortable? And then on the second round, you can say, is it physical? Is it psychological? Then you can always tell the client, now put it according to your priority. Which one would you like to deal with at the first go? Because let me tell you, you will be there in a fix, which is a primary symptom, which is a secondary symptom. That is why I thought, people do not talk about the common goals. I said, let me talk about the common goals, and you can always give them the strategy. They can start writing letters. I was telling you, they can start making cards. They can actually do physical exercise. They can start writing journals. And these days, if you believe, there are beautiful, there are companies, there are psychological companies who are working in the field of psychology are bringing journals which can be comfortably used by psychologists or the clients, right? Where I have seen one of my friends, she's a psychologist, my fellow psychologist. She keeps few copies where if somebody wants to buy from her office, they can pick up one and they can do things there. So it's very comfortable, and you need to do all these things. I'll keep on saying, but be very sure that the ethical issues are not played upon. You have to be very sure. I wish I had a little more day. I wish we do it again. I'll actually take a class on ethical issues where we need to understand, all said and done, however trained I may be. I'm talking about myself here. After so many years of my practice, yet again, I always say I'm still the student of psychology. I do not consider myself to be a master. I'm still learning. The techniques all over the world are being updated. There are so many technological advances which are actually interfering or sometimes giving us help also. So look, we have shifted from offline to online. All those things are so very important, friends, that we need to understand that I have to be humble. I have to be honest. I have to keep learning. I have to understand the perspective that my client has come with. What is the perception of, what are the faulty thought methods? And I will not be, suppose I have a habit of speaking lie. I was not a psychologist when I developed this. And I keep on using this technique in off and on when I'm talking to my client also. I may not be able to do justice. So just this is for us also. If I want to be a good counselor, I need to write down where I can also falter, which I can update or upgrade myself also. So honesty, being frank, taking care of my clients, all these is part in physical, psychological, emotional, mental, any aspect and all aspects is very important. Why? Because counseling does not mean only 10 sessions. Now, coming to number of sessions, I always say start with 5 sessions, then let the client give you the feedback. I need more. You can always tell in the first meeting, say it may take 10, 12, your problem seems to be a little intense. It may take, but then I am dependent on you. My sessions are dependent on you. So that is why I have changed. We'll have a 5 meeting capsule, 45 to 1 hour. And then it would either we'll taper it off, which will take another 2 sessions, or we may have to increase 3 more plus 2 tapering off, reaching from 5 to 10 anywhere. Why? Because Ji, Muthuswamy Lakshmi, Ji.
Ma'am, is it possible to guess how many sessions is it they
It is
required
not.
and all?
That is why
Uh,
I kept on underlining the thing, intensity, the need.
yeah.
I'll tell you, if you see my counseling notes I've written, post-counseling support. You have to keep your doors open all the time. I always, these days, because I'm working online also, so I always keep on telling my clients, look, friends, I'll not pick up your phone. I'm not available most of the time. I'm busy with other clients, and you have to understand. Teach them empathy. But yet again, you can send me a message. Whenever I'll be free, I'll send you a message back. Right? Then again, we should have a small slip where we write, this is a homework. Let the client, you're telling, and the client is writing in their own handwriting what is the homework for the time in between. So it's very comfortable for you also to understand what the client is doing. Similarly, when the client comes to you, give another sheet, and all this sheet is going in the file. What did you do since last meeting? It would be 4 days, it would be 3 days, depending again on the intensity and the need of my client. We need to understand ki kya karna hai, right? So you always have to, but you say primarily these days, because people are offering capsules, which means everything covered. Or as you go in, you must have seen in hospitals, they say this is a package. So I say it's a capsule, because this is at least this is minimum that we need to do. Why? Rapport formation 1, information taking 2, I'll count also. Goal making specific and general 3. General, you need not talk to the client, right? General, you need not tell to the client. But yet again, we know it is a back of the mind. Specific goal, then taking little bit of time to give. Again, as I told you, adjunct means they can carry back home relaxation exercises, deep breathing exercises, water drinking exercises. You cannot give them in one go. Every time they come, you will have to. So it automatically comes minimum 5. You agree with me? Minimum 5, and then you can increase if at all that. And always say, like, this is my favorite line, because I am a so-called counselor in school. I say, you can always come back to me, my child, even though when either you leave the school or I leave the school, or till the time I am alive. You'll not believe, I told you the other day, if you remember, my student came after 10 years. Another student, she was in UK, very fine student, very nice. She was actually sent on a scholarship, but because she felt very alienated and lost there, and the course she was doing was very difficult. Dyslexic child. Did her fashion designing. She was picked up, went there. She was absolutely beautifully talented, but started losing confidence, dealing with people. Mother called me. She cannot do without you, Dr. You have to talk to her. So I was taking sessions online with my child in UK. Mother was paying me here. And there was a pact. I told, I told her mother, I'll not be able to talk to you all the time because giving you feedback. But yes, I'll be sending you a small WhatsApp, had a session with your child, everything went off well. Take her feedback, send me the feedback. Simple, simple, not little things. And you can always, if at all you are a little conscious, take a printout, put it in the file with date and time. I hope it is very comfortable and easy. We need to be not only the teacher, not only the counselor, but a resource whom your client can always fall back on. Right? Jain Saab seems to be lost. All well? Jain Saab? I think his camera froze, or maybe there is electricity issue or some issue. Yeah, that is why I keep on saying, I wonder if I can be of, if you listen to the recordings and if you feel that you're getting stuck somewhere, you can always come back. You can always clarify. You can always, please never go with. Then again, I'll say it is unethical on my part if I am, the same thing I am saying. I am also lending the post-teaching support. I'm available. Whenever you want, you can send me a message. You can take my number from Fatma ma'am. I'm available on WhatsApp. Whenever I get free, I can send a message back. Sometimes, I'll tell you, I met somebody on MOK. She's working as a school counselor somewhere in Mumbai. And I think it's been good 4 or 5 years. And she keeps on sending me, ma'am, how to deal with this child. I've got stuck. So we have that kind of conversation from time to time. So things can actually be, this is what I want to tell you. Yes, don't make the client dependent on you. The relationship counselor-counselee, you can always, again, it's part of the ethical issues, which I would like to take a separate class on, which means that there should be no transference of feelings. I hope we all understand that the client should not be emotionally dependent or attached. There should be no give and take of unnecessary extra time and money, no gift taking or giving. It should always be a professional one with our boundaries quite clearly defined and set, so that you people can actually understand that you will be there, but you will be there only in professional sense of the word, not, yeah.
Even the gifts, you mean to say that we are not supposed to accept, ma'am, because it is not that we are expecting, but out of love, when they try to offer, even at least for the courtesy's sake, whether we like it or not, whether we, intend or not, for the courtesy's sake, for their satisfaction.
Yes,
After
yes.
all, we know that they are depressed, or we are trying to get them out of it, and they will definitely feel so great about us.
Look, if you start with your internship, people will come and they will. If your client is saying, sir, I am going out of city, I will not come, and they offer you. Now, this is again very beautiful question that you put. In India, offering sweets means showing respect also, right? Now that Diwali approaching and other things. But there again, we can always put a specific note somewhere, no tips, no gifts, right? Secondly, if your client gives you a small painting, I have made it for you, a small card, maybe a small chocolate. But if the client gives you something worth 5,000, so we understand the gestural gifts are very close to heart, but the expensive gifts will not be welcome. So when we set up a place and or when we talk about the first time, because why I say first day is very important. First 2 meetings at least, where we are taking case studies, we are clarifying things also. When are we meeting? What will be the amount of money that I'll be taking? What will be the duration of our session? I can stretch session for 10 minutes, not beyond that. I'll be giving you homework. I'll not force you to do homework, but I'll definitely like to take a feedback. And there very slowly and quietly, your client may say that otherwise it would be otherwise कि मेरे पास पैसे नहीं है, आज नहीं है, मैं आपको कल दे दूंगा. What happens then? It's similar situation, You have to understand
I
that,
understand, ma'am. But with the
yeah,
same example what you had given, like the daughter is there abroad and she has some mental issues and or any tough situation, and you here actually from here you have at least settled and she has come out of the problem and she is doing so well and she is back in her track. Now this mom will definitely have a help, no,
yes,
because
yes.
it is not just like money and it is not a transaction. You
No,
have transformed her life
I'll tell
and
you very interestingly.
no, it is like you have done for both. More than her, her mom and parents. I mean, both the parents will be definitely in a panicky situation. No, because even I have the same problem. If at all I have to send my daughter away, and if she's got any problem there, then I will definitely have a panicky situation here. No, in that case, if at all that person who, I mean, it is now online. Now you're sorting it out, and always we should give them a gratitude to no man.
I
It is not
completely
just
agree. I completely
yeah.
like.
When
I'll
that
give
is
you
the
my
case,
own. I'll give you one small
when
case study.
you reject it, when I come and thank you and
No,
maybe
that
it
is
can
what
be
I'm saying.
sweet or anything.
When you bring, and then I say, please, sir, no, then it is bad. That is why I say, let us
Huh.
clarify it. And interestingly, I tell you, as I said, post counseling support. Suppose I'll tell you, one of my client, she was going through a very bad phase. She came with her mother. Then she grew up and she started coming all alone. It carried on and off in waves for 3 years. And then this child went and started living in some place in, I think, Bangalore or Hyderabad. She picked up a job. It was long time back. So, and this child, we lost touch with. But after a few years, she would write a small note on Teacher's Day, on Doctor's Day, and she would send a nice note. One day, the bell rings, and she asked me, invariably, are you staying there on your... One day, the bell rings, and I could not recognize it. I had been good so many years. And she came with a box of sweets, a card, and a small gift for me. Why? Ma'am, I'm getting married. I would have never...
That's the gratitude.
So that is what I'm saying. But the gap of my
Understood, ma'am.
termination of
that is
therapy,
purely professional,
yes.
ma'am.
So
Yeah, that
वहाँ
is
नहीं हम रोक
professional.
सकते ना, उधर तो हम रोक नहीं सकते, उधर it will be insulting,
No, it is. Yeah, it is not only that, ma'am. It is not like in the prayer case, like it is if the kid is outside and if
Yes,
you're
I
meeting
will
with
give you that another example.
yeah,
I
because
told you,
that is actually you are not dealing with the kid directly. When the
right.
parents come here, it is again become
Yes.
a
That I
triangle.
leave to your discretion, for sure.
Okay.
But I tell you, this
So
child
the intention is not to take
yes.
anything in
return
from them, ma'am.
No,
We
no,
don't
but
want
you have
anything. But
absolutely
in case,
beautifully clarified. Yes,
okay.
Because I tell you, this child who has come from UK after doing this, she said, "Ma'am, I am going to design something for you."
Okay,
and I said,
that's
"Okay,
fantastic.
yeah." So I said, "I am going to pay for that, or I'll buy the material. If you're going to."
Okay.
But then
Yeah.
says, because she
she's
was
an
coming
expert in
from
this.
UK,
Yeah.
definitely she says, "But I'm going to carry." So I said, "Okay, not beyond a chocolate." That kind of transaction, that kind of communication, It is not, of course, sir, I completely agree. You were talking about
No,
gratitude,
ma'am. Actually,
not
it so
greed.
happened in my life. That is why I'm asking because it
Yes,
was
yes.
my father's doctor who had actually taken him enough care when he had gone for I mean, when he had a cardiac arrest. Like he was almost nothing like. But then he was all the time sitting with him, and he never went even to OP. He sat with him because he understood he was critical, and he gave us back. So my
That's why I was
father,
coming.
after he came off, he wanted to actually give him a ring. So he said, no, no, no. Initially, he said no. But we said, sir, it is not anything relation like, we want to really show off our love against, whatever you have done. So we feel that you should accept, and we compelled. And finally, he accepted. And when we went for the next time, he was wearing it.
That's what I'm saying.
It was like,
that is a beautiful way of doing things in India. So we have to be discreet about all these things.
All right,
If things happen, why not? If things do not,
no, it is not that we are not expecting them, but when somebody wants to give something, then if we say no, probably they might get hurt. No,
yes,
that's the reason why it's not
But I
clarified.
tell you, when we talk of adolescence, friends, I'm talking about the flip side of what I was actually, because adolescents, they generally have a very common thing is having a crush around the teachers, around whatever. It could be, it's not gender specific, and it's not towards gender. a female will have a crush on male teacher. It's not like that. The age is such. And you know, they try to do all kind of odd things. I hope you understand. That is the time where we need to draw the line. Then comes what I have noticed. I'm giving again from my own case studies I'm talking about, which I have observed. Then comes when there are marital problems. They're already looking for a shoulder to cry on. They're already looking for, or if
Should
the
not be losing
if one of
yourself.
the partner is aggressive, the transference of those feelings becomes very strong. And if I'm not talking of you alone, if the person who's the counselor is already carrying bag and baggage, quote unquote, you can understand. And it can develop into a very fragile kind of thing, where, believe it or not, it may lead to a very
Unnecessary.
complicated situation.
Yeah.
So I was reading a case now. I was reading a case, how to deal with this. It was very recent. I'm talking about, these are different ones. Very recently, that this is becoming very common because people are not staying with their parents anymore and they have a lot of, access to money and all those things. And this transference of feelings is becoming very common. So it was actually said, one counselor, psychologist, got married to the client. You understand? The doctor. But whoever was writing this case, mentor, said, then you have to terminate it for once and all, for all, because now the expectation in that relationship changes. The problems may crop up at a different level because you know each other a little more at a different level. Nobody can take guarantee. So again, a mentor was called in. A mentor said, if at all you want to have this kind of relationship, this was again in America, which had happened, which again we know Elon Musk has fathered his own daughter's child. I don't know, we are not ready to accept. It's difficult for us, but then it happens there. So the mentor said, whether it's living, whether it's staying together, you have to take care of all this thing for 6 months. So if 6 months you are able to adapt, adjust, and do things without this counselor-counselor relationship, you may carry on. I don't know how far will it work. I don't know how far, but things are, sir, for sure changing all over the world. So I was just using ethically be cautious, not conscious, but cautious, so that things should not work. And let me tell you, in Indian families, all said and done, we have our parents and we have our spouses and we have our children. We are the role models also. And sometimes you may have seen that a child may follow the parent footstep, would like to become a counselor, would like to carry on with the tradition and all those things. So that is why I always say, especially in India, I always say, if you have a wall where you can put stickers, where you can put those nice sayings, you can always put, I am there for you, but, all those things. So when a person is in the waiting area, reading, all those things, the person, the escort also knows we are safe here. And the people who come as clients also know we have to take care of the boundaries. We have to respect. This relationship is for respect. A counselor and counselee cannot get into, should not ideally be in this. So those are small little hints and tips that you need to understand, and that should help in creating.
Then, ma'am, there should be something called, ethics from the client side also.
That's what I said. Huh? That's what I'm saying, right?
Not just the counselor alone, counseling also.
So that is what I'm saying. Especially in Europe and America and foreign countries, they actually ask you to sign a contract. They actually ask you because the payment does not come from the counseling. It comes from the insurance company in many places. So they don't have that kind of commitment also. They don't have to, but that is why everything is written. It's a legal kind of, partly it is legal, partly it is ethical. So that actually, that's what I'm saying. Suppose there's a person who's already disturbed, already looking for somebody and comes. That is why creating that kind of knowledge wall, we can say. Nisha, a new word, knowledge wall, anything you can say. Or we can say, I am already cautioning you. I have written those things, So it will actually support him. I hope you all agree with me.
Preparing them.
I am not giving bookish knowledge that you can always read. I'm giving you the material, but I love talking about all these things. These are the practical issues which you're going to face sooner or later, believe it or not. Yes?
Those things are come through experience only, ma'am.
Yeah,
But
that is
it will
very
not
true.
come under book. It will not come under any book. So only through the hands-on experience only we can get those valuable insights.
Right.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, is there any particular dress code? One of the or doubt one person, a friend asked me. Is there any particular dress code for a counselor?
Honestly speaking, that is why counselors are becoming or coaches are becoming very, very popular. Why? Because as of now, we don't have any, but now that I have done my PhD, I am a person who's practicing. I have to register myself with RCI. But person who is not from psychology background and is using the knowledge to help people and using the terminology coaching. You understand? That's why I told you now when there are people who are going and complaining and saying that I was or everything went into jeopardy and I was kind of taken for granted or I have suffered or my so-called coach or my counselor, they have taken more money. Counselor ka abhi bhi naam nahi, it's more like coaching. They have taken so much money and they did not deliver what was promised. They have started working on all these terminologies, the code of conduct, everything, which will definitely take some time. And if you people are lucky, you people have established yourself, if it is an internal mechanism of following my ethics, it can actually be because your word of mouth will spread. If this person is trustworthy, you can actually go, they'll not cheat you, they're very honest. It automatically picks up faster than anything in life. So, in the court of law, they may challenge, God forbid, if they are carrying some cameras or anything. That is why many a times you'll say, see, people say, of course, there are other things also. A boy says, I would like to go to a male counselor only. Females have actually sometimes, though counselor means a counselor, no gender bias, but in India, for many other reasons, and there are no conducts, there are no legalities, there are no other things, guidelines given. So, people also, they say, I would prefer to, and with many, for many other reasons also.
Actually, for female counselors, the dress code things and all, the very important thing when we are with the male clients, because first we should be very comfortable with our dressings and all. So that's why I too thought to ask you about.
And in fact, not only dress code, but the dress and the other things, like we should also be wearing doctors also when they're sitting in their private clinics. Unfortunately, in India, they don't wear the white coat also. It should ideally be. If you see the the auto drivers and cab drivers, they've been actually told to wear, and they're given a badge. If they have been given, then why not anybody else, and why not we? There should be those things happening. It is going to take little time, but I'm sure let's not lose hope. Let's look forward to how things will happen. Yeah. Anything else? Any other question? As far as I am concerned, I have completed my today's class. Yet again, anything else you would like to ask me, know from me? I'm there for another, let's say 5 minutes. Another 5 minutes, I'll be there. Anything you would like to say? Any last comment? Any last feedback? Most of the people have been quiet, and I wonder if they're sleeping, eating, or shouting at their own children, or having their own counseling session with a earphone and their air and listening.
Def-
Let me do both the things
Definitely, ma'am.
simultaneously.
Definitely.
And
That's
it is a possibility or not? There's a possibility.
Not like
that's why I'm getting little scared to start my own, because first I have to get ready. First, you should not shout with your son or your child. First, I should not shout with my son. What are the things I'm going to ask the client? First, I have to implement first thing.
Ma'am, it will be very difficult. அதெல்லாம் வீட்ல ஆகாது. That won't work out. You are only there to help somebody. Have only that
இருந்தாலும்
in your
கஷ்டம் சார்.
mind. இல்ல,
இல்ல,
you will never be recognized at your home. Please don't expect all those things. Whatever.
தெரிஞ்சவங்க
Here,
வந்துட்டாங்கன்னா அசிங்கமா போயிடும் சார்.
No, here I will agree with sir to 50%.
தெரிஞ்சவங்க வந்துட்டாங்கன்னா அசிங்கமா போயிடும் சார்.
No, 50% I'll agree, sir. Why? Because no doubt. Plus, I always keep on saying, look, I became counselor or psychologist or whatever you tell me, teacher, much later. I was already 18, 19 years old. I carrying my bag and baggage. My own perceptual processes were too much in place. You agree with me? My belief system was already there, right? So we definitely, yes, we can challenge if at all we are aware. Now, this is very important. This is again part of the general goals that we were talking. Make the person very aware, self-aware, make the person to live in the moment, to make the person understand that spiritual quotient is definitely more important than intelligence quotient. So all these things, these are the goals. I wanted to, okay, the last thing that how many of you actually made an attempt to do a case study? How many of you actually did that? I've already sent the format. So now that you have the format, do that. And I would suggest, like Lakshmi ma'am has said, Muthu Lakshmi ma'am, I would suggest, if not change, at least make your general goals and then your specific goals. And if at all you need any support, any help, if you want me to, as a teacher, check the things, I will be there. So let's start at least doing things in practical. Listening is
Thank
not
you for
helpful.
the great
Yeah.
support you are giving, ma'am. It's a great
So
support.
that's what I'm saying.
Thank you so
Listening
much.
is not going to help. Notes is not going to help unless and until we actually start doing things ourselves. At least let's start doing little things. People who are a little more, you feel a little more comfortable to talk to, little more easier clients, you can always, or you can take sir as your mentor and share the problems, and take difficult clients also, or at least be there. Refer to sir if you want them to meet in person. Refer the client to sir. You yourself be there as an intern or a co-helper, co-therapist, and see how things work out. It will actually work out beautifully there.
Very well.
It will be on-job training and you have your things in place. So I'm sure you'll learn faster. You'll become more confident, and this will help you to gain experience also. So
I'm
all
into
the best.
alternative Yeah, I am into alternative medicine, ma'am. So I keep repeatedly, seeing the clients, and so whatever you say, I am already into it. So to an extent, I have that little experience. That's it.
Great.
So
And I'm actually waiting to see the photographs and see the picture of the board that I've started with my Marital, as you said, put in. I remember it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. But
Yeah.
again, I'm yet to finish my course, and then again, we don't
Yes.
have the eligibility to start with counseling now.
I
So
understand.
we will have to do something else
I
with that.
understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
And
But you
this
can
is-
always say, I'm here to help. I'm here to. So you
Yeah,
can
that
always have a
I
health
always do,
center,
ma'am.
or maybe a catharsis
Yeah.
center.
Yeah.
You can always come and talk to me. If you
Yeah.
want to have a cup of tea with me over,
Correct,
we can always have. That is why I started today with this. We can always have different names on different
Well,
things.
it is
and
not
the whole
just-
idea is to help.
Yeah, ma'am. It is not just counseling alone, ma'am. I mean,
Right, that's what
psychology
I'm
is
saying.
great. It's a very big area.
That's
And
what I'm saying.
many are only sticking with counseling and they don't want to work with anything else. So
Right,
I'm
right.
also trying to explore the other areas
Explore
of,
and expand.
yeah.
Explore
Yes,
and
ma'am.
expand and
Where
do
we don't
things
have
well.
problem. Unlike your counseling, why should you sit with something which is really headache and if even
Yes, yes.
something goes wrong, you are
That is why
unnecessarily liable.
positive, sir, I'm sorry, that is why positive psychology.
Yeah,
Positive psychology is becoming more popular.
More popular. Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I would
Even
not say coaching, I'll say popular coaching, not coaching, but positive psychology. So
Yeah,
that
because
is really helpful. And
ma'am, you
so,
have done your UG, PG, and PhD. Now you can climb as a, a psychologist or counselor, whatever you want, you can call. But we actually, when we are not into it, and when we have not taken that appropriate education background, which is mandate these days, it is not correct, to say ourselves as psychologists and do something, against the law.
that's what I'm saying. Ethically, we should be there.
Yeah.
But
Better.
otherwise, emotionally, if we are present for somebody, our job is done.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. As
So
you said,
all
we
the
can
best
become a
friends-
counselor for school counselor and guidance. You can go for guidance. Nobody is stopping you for guidance. You can always do guidance with the same
Right.
knowledge. You can always name it in a different way.
And that
Start
is why-
doing guidance.
that is why people who have that bent of mind, they're picking up now career counseling because it is a
Yes.
little more safe and it is
Easier,
accepted
easier.
also.
Yes, ma'am.
So career
Yes.
counseling people are picking up, they're taking, of course, people who are
Correct.
training, they're taking a lot of money.
And it is hot, ma'am. Now it is
Yeah,
actually
that's just
critically
because
hot.
because in the garb of being a coach, in the garb of being, you can actually help people and you're doing something little beyond it also.
Correct.
You
Without
know,
any risk of
without any
legal.
restriction.
Legal,
Right,
yeah.
right. So all the best. I hope you all
Thank you, ma'am.
great success in life, and let's see if we can meet again.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
I
Thank you so
take
much,
a
ma'am.
leave. God
Yeah.
bless you.
Thanks a
It
lot,
was our
ma'am.
pleasure to have you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, blessed. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thanks
yes,
a lot,
yes.
ma'am. Thanks a lot, ma'am.
God bless you all.